Hi, my name is Haidar Eid and I am an associate professor of cultural studies at Al-Aqsa University. I'm also a member of the Palestinian campaign for the academic and cultural boycott of Israel. I was asked by our comrades in France and in England, our BDS comrades, to record a short message to you organizing this event in France. And I know that my friend and brother and comrade Ali Abunimah is sitting and listening as well to this message. What can one say about Gaza 1 year after the 2014 massacre? Now, I will try to make it as short and as brief as possible. I survived 3 massacres over the last 6 years, and I'm still surviving a hermetic medieval siege that has been imposed on Gaza since the 2006 elections, in which the Islamic resistance movement of Hamas won the majority of the seats in the Palestinian Legislative Council. In January 2006, most, I wouldn't even say most, some residents, I would say, even, because not everybody went to the polling station that time. January 2006, we were asked to go to the polling station in order to vote for our representatives in the Legislative Council. And I need to remind you that the Legislative Council does not represent all Palestinians. That is to say, the 3 components of the Palestinian people: residents of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, 1948 Palestinians, and those who live in the diaspora since 1948. Only residents of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank were asked to go to the polling station in order to vote for their new representatives in the Legislative Council. Some people went to the polling station. I didn't go because I don't believe that we can have true democracy under the barrel of the gun of the occupier. And when people voted against the two-state solution. People voted against the corruption of the Oslo of the Palestinian Authority. People voted against the Oslo Accords. And because of that, Israel, the United States of America, in cahoot with Arab reactionary regimes, decided to punish the Palestinians of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. And that's why they decided to impose a medieval siege that was actually described by the likes of Richard Falk as a prelude to genocide. It was described by the likes of Ilan Pape as a slow genocide. And that's absolutely correct. I tend to agree with that. And because the people of Gaza never surrendered, Israel decided to launch a massive massacre in 2008-2009 for 22 days. Israel used F-16, Merkava tanks, drones, most of which are made in the West and in the United States of America, and Israel has been supported by the French government. The Palestinian people of the Gaza Strip never surrendered in 2009. They lost 1,200 people, including 434 children. But then Israel decided to come back in 2012, launched another massacre for 7 to 8 days, during which it killed more than 200 people, and then decided to do it again last year for 51 days. I remember every single day of those massacres. Now, between 100 and 110,000 houses and factories and housing units were destroyed partially and fully last year. And now, 1 year after that massacre, not a single house has been rebuilt, in spite of the promises made by the international community, by governments, by the Palestinian Authority, by the European Union, by the government of the United States of America, by the governments of the Arab world. Not a single house. In fact, Israel has been rewarded by the international community. And therefore, we keep asking, for how long we will be asked to count on the official bodies of the international community. And I'm saying it very, very clearly. And I am representing the overwhelming majority of Palestinian civil societies, not only in the Gaza Strip, in the diaspora, in the West Bank, and in 1948. And Palestinian civil society has given up on the international community, the world governments, and that's why we decided to reiterate our call to our comrades in civil societies all over the world to boycott apartheid Israel. Boycott, divestment, and sanctions. Exactly like what happened against the apartheid system of South Africa last century. I mean, when the BDS campaign against the apartheid system was launched in the late 1950s, official bodies of the international community never heeded the call. It took the international community more than 30 years to heed the call. Nelson Mandela was arrested in 1964 and he was released only in 1994, thanks to popular struggle on the ground, to mass mobilization on the ground, and to the global BDS campaign against the apartheid system of South Africa. And this is what is happening right now against apartheid Israel. The international community, international civil society has decided to heed our call, and Israel has realized that it cannot go on killing Palestinian people without a heavy price to pay. And that is why they have launched a massive counterattack against the BDS campaign. But coming back to the Gaza Strip, what do we want? What we want is it is one message. We want the international community to boycott apartheid Israel until it complies with international law by withdrawing from the Gaza Strip and the West Bank and Eastern Jerusalem, by ending its apartheid policies against the native Palestinians of 1948, and by implementing United Nations Resolution 194, which calls for the return of all Palestinian refugees that were ethnically cleansed in 1948. And in fact, the last demand, which is the implementation of United Nations Resolution 194, is the most important demand that we are asking for in the Gaza Strip and even Palestinians in the diaspora. I'm saying this because 2/3 of the Palestinians of Gaza are refugees who are entitled to their right of return and compensation. Comrades, sisters and brothers, we count on conscientious people like yourselves. We want you to exert pressure on your government, on the French government, actually to boycott apartheid Israel, to divest from Israel and divest from companies investing in apartheid Israel until Israel complies with international law. We salute you. We thank you for everything that you have been doing, and we thank you for the wonderful solidarity that you have been showing with us, the besieged Palestinians of the Gaza Strip. Thank you so much for listening to me.